To be nominated for the Barista Hero is a really incredible feeling. I never thought that I would be nominated for something like this. Like, I really do believe that coffee is about care and community, and the fact that that's sort of coming back now to me is incredible.
I'm really proud of what Rory's done. He's tried to learn some new languages, so he's picked up some Urdu and Punjabi, and I also see him learn a sign language.
Rory is just the most genuinely amazing human being. I had a really tough time to start the year with a couple of bereavements in the family, but every time I came into port, it was just like settling into a comfy sofa at home.
I think that coffee shops in general have gone from just being like a consumer product to being 21st century care institutions. People are paying a nominal amount for a moment of interaction with another human being, and you get to take care of them in a brief moment where just they feel appreciated and they go about their day after that hopefully feeling like they matter and that they're cared for a little bit more.
I mean, I've been in coffee almost 6 years now. I'm just an ordinary barista that wants to make everyone's day. But at the same time, I wanted to show to the people in the world, like people with autism, people with a disability, that they're not limited to just doing coffee a day. You want to have a better understanding on how empowering you want to be. So no matter what you're going through in life, or no matter the barriers, you can always overcome it through experience. That's always been my philosophy, really. For me, being a barista is like you're a frontline worker. It's not about serving coffee just to say, here's your coffee, have a good day, whatnot. You're part of the customer's life story. You want to be part of a journey with them. And that's how I feel.
I've known Zach for quite a while. I remember sometime earlier this year I went to his shop for a meeting and I got there and it was actually closed. I was looking around where to go and I saw Zach walking past and he was like, oh, we're opening in an hour, but if you give me a few minutes. And he went straight in, got set up and was like, I'm ready for you now. And I know from hearing from a lot of people, he's been doing a lot of support and mentoring new starters at his company as well, which is just so cool to see. Having seen Zach at the start of his journey and seeing him supporting other people now is just really, really cool.
I'm very honoured. And again, whatever happens, it's a great achievement for me.
Well, Shortlist has created such a homey environment for this community, and we just love to come back just because Charlotte is just lovely and the place that she has created is just as lovely as her.
It's really important to me to create a safe, comfortable environment for people, but also people feel like they've got a friend in me and the people serving them. We've had people saying it feels like a safe space for them, which is really important. It's one of the things that we pride ourselves on here at Bloomsbury.
Oh yeah, literally come here five days a week. I come here 7 days, but they close for 2, unfortunately. You look around the shop, everything's sustainable, everything's ethically sourced. And I just feel like Bloom & Brew are just trying their best to make their mark on the world.
It's definitely the people that make it. It's just a really nice, warm little pocket of good vibes we feel like we've got here.
The best part of being a barista is being a part of people's lives, being a part of their lives, their children's lives, their families' lives, knowing when their birthday is, if there's a funeral they've got to go to, they tell me. I've been invited to weddings to be a part of their special day because I'm not just a barista to them, I'm part of their family, I'm their friend, and that means the world to me.
We kind of moved here on our own. We started coming into Grouch. We didn't know anyone and Kelly always just made us feel so welcome. And often now if I'm in Morton, I'll just pop in to see Kelly. She made us feel so welcome.
So when you're waiting in the queue, it's just there's good banter between everybody. It's always something new to talk about and it's just a natural sort of conversation every time we come in. Sometimes we share sort of personal stories, others it's just like, oh, I'm having a rubbish day, and it's just someone to cheer you up.
Baristas are like heroes because we are heroes. It's more than just making coffee.
Camilla's a Barista Hero because she works harder than anyone I know. She's always positive, and that can be really difficult when you're the only deaf person in a room and she has to kind of
go above and beyond to communicate to customers. And she somehow managed to help tons of city men in suits learn sign language.
So before I attended a college and I actually didn't like coffee at that point, and then I came along to this job and got really interested in the art of the barista, looking at how it was made, and I'm making beautiful creative artwork on top of it, and then love hearts and all the shapes that went with that. And then I started improving, my confidence grew, and I really enjoy working here. Yes, so people do come in a lot and I know them really well, some of them. Sometimes they ask me, what is the sign for this? And I show them F for flat white, for cow's milk, I teach them. So they're becoming more and more aware, and I'm really confident working with those customers. I've also taught the staff here to sign, and they're absolutely fantastic. I think, wow, this is the first time it's happened to me. And initially I was like really reluctant. I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is high profile. But I'm really elated, and I hope that I do get it because I'm deaf and I want to represent a deaf, strong person.
How does it feel to be nominated? Amazing. A little bit embarrassing, a little bit overwhelming, but really, really flattering and really sweet. We're based in a park in a very small community, so we have a very tight group of regulars who I get to know really, really well. I feel like most of them are friends now. As you know, more and more people are dealing with isolation and loneliness and mental health issues, anxiety, depression. Personally, I've dealt with those things, and I know that going to get my coffee in the morning and having a little chat with my barista really picks me up for the day, so yeah.
She's always got like a smile for everybody and time to chat, and she's just a little ray of sunshine. Like, yeah, she just creates like a really nice environment, which I think was especially valuable over the pandemic when people really needed that like human interaction.
I nominated Kate because she's one of a kind. When I moved here 2 years ago, I was in a horrible place because I'd had these health issues and I was waiting for a big birthday to come along, so monetarily I'd be all right. When she found it out, she bought me a birthday cake, and it meant the world to me.
So I nominated Philip because earlier this year he was unfortunately diagnosed with cancer, and it turned the world upside down for us. And that was the decision to upgrade his machine to the Marzocco, and it was a bit of a off the cuff, let's buy one, let's do it, because you know we're not going to be going anywhere for a long time. When Philip had some really bad down days and there was no reason to get up, and Philip would get up regardless of how he felt and supply myself with coffee. Everything revolved around being at home, and the coffee machine gave him that determination to get through. And quite often he wouldn't drink coffee himself because he felt so bad, and within no time then he felt better. And we knew because when he made coffee I noticed he'd made 2. I was like, oh Philip, I don't think I can drink 2 right now, and he's like, well, it's not for you, what's for me.
When I was going through chemo, it wasn't very nice. I couldn't physically drink coffee myself for a point, so I still wanted some routine. So I'd get up in the morning and then I'd make a coffee, and it was just the routine. It was still enjoyable, even though the smell of coffee made me ill for a little bit. The whole coffee and my well-being, and I think anybody's well-being, has sort of become more prevalent in my mind this year. Just having time with my wife at home. She'd come and stand next to me in the kitchen and we'd have a bit of a chat, and you know, it wasn't generally a good chat because I was feeling rotten, but we still had a bit of time together, and it was nice. When I've been better, a lot more people are sort of coming round and having coffee and cake with me. So people will come and specifically want a coffee. I think it's probably just because it's free and a decent coffee.
I think there's probably another reason there. I don't know if you want to like...
A lot of my colleagues came from work, so it was like being back in work. It was a nice feeling for me because it made me feel a bit wanted, making me feel like a normal person. People occasionally made comments that it was a nice coffee.
This shop, let's not make it all about me, this shop is important to a lot of people. And that feels good, that feels important. It feels like I'm doing something. I spent 23 years of my life doing something that didn't matter, but this matters. You know, I see people who meet here and then spend time together outside the shop, and without the shop, they don't know each other. There are people who literally should never meet. And they do, and they get on, and it feels like I'm doing something worthwhile.
I moved here and with my husband, we didn't know anyone. We ended up coming here, and now 8 years later, we know so many people. It's the community that means that he's my barista hero.
When I go to sleep at night, when we lived in the pubs when I was really little, you could hear the people downstairs. And I loved it. It's that security feeling of always knowing there's people around you. And I think that is really deep rooted in me, which then leads into why I ended up in hospitality. And then it reminds me of Mum. And Mum never got to see the space. But she would have loved it. And she would have sat in that corner and she would have just talked to everybody and she would have absolutely loved it. Yeah, it makes me feel comfortable. This is home.
So I nominated Mark because basically Mark's changed my life. Previously I was in a really dark place. I was suicidal, I felt suicidal, and I started coming in here and Mark provided a safe place for me. He'd always make time for me to come and, you know, come and speak to me. He would always ask me, Kev, how you doing? And I could tell he meant that. You know, I don't really care about the coffee, I just care about Mark as a human. Yeah, I do owe Mark a lot, and I've told him numerous times that, you know, if it wasn't for him, he probably wouldn't still be here. And I think he gets quite emotional as well. I mean, you don't get that in Starbucks, do you?